Hey guys, this is Vance McDaniel with True Image Fitness. Yesterday I told you we were going to talk a little bit about protein today, but before I do, I wanted to talk a little bit about the three states that we live in as far as our bodies are concerned. The first state is growing, the second state is maintenance, and the third state is losing. Now let me explain each state. When we're talking about growing or putting on muscle, we're living in a state where we're going to take in excess calories so that we can perform at a higher level. In order to grow muscle and to work out with peak performance, you're going to need to eat extra calories. And the balance of those calories determines your body composition. So if you have a high carbohydrate, complex carbohydrate diet with high protein and moderate dietary fats in your growing stage, and you're eating more calories than you need in order to maintain, that allows you to put on muscle. In your maintenance cycle, you are eating enough calories to maintain your physique, and you are eating enough calories to maintain your composition as well. So again, you know, a high carbohydrate diet, simple carbs and high fats, even though you're eating just enough calories to maintain, if you eat a lot of carbohydrates versus proteins and dietary fat, you will still go into a fat storage mode, and your body will hold fat in water. So you might not necessarily gain a lot of weight, but you'll hold subcutaneous water, and your body won't use fat efficiently. So you'll continue to store that little bit of fat, and you'll look softer without your weight changing. So even in maintenance mode, you have to watch the combinations of the carbohydrates, fats, and proteins that you eat. Now when you're losing or cutting up and you're trying to get lean, you're at a calorie deficit, and it really is super important that you are aware of how to use your proteins, carbohydrates, and your dietary fats. And these are all things that you'll be able to go to trueimagefitness.net and read about more specifically. Today what I want to do is I want to talk about the two types of protein that I use. Of course, you know, I'm a ProFight athlete and I use ProFight supplements. The first we'll talk about here is ProLean Mass. Now ProLean Mass has I believe 60 grams of carbohydrates per serving. For protein powders, this is a little bit higher in calories, but this is meant to help you grow. Those 60 grams of carbohydrates, I usually take this about 45 minutes before a workout. Even when I am cutting up, this will be the most amount of carbohydrates that I have in a day, and it'll be about 45 minutes before my workout so that I can get that glucose into my bloodstream, which gives me enough energy to really train intensely while I'm still in the cutting mode. I am not going to get bigger on my current diet using this. Now if I was in the mode of wanting to grow, you know, in addition to increasing my calories elsewhere, I'd still be using this, but I'm using this. I only do about 200 grams of carbohydrates a day at this point, and 60 of them come from here pre-workout. The rest are spread out during the day. I love this for when I'm dieting because, you know, sometimes I'm tired because, you know, I'm at a calorie deficit all the time, and I want to get the most out of my workout. So this for pre-workout, even when you're leaning out, is absolutely perfect. This also has creatine and glutamine in it. So the creatine is awesome because, you know, it helps pull the water from the subcutaneous area into the muscle and shuttles all those nutrients and those BCAAs that are in here, and all the good stuff gets into the muscle, gets into your system, and it's one of the best actual mass protein powders that I've ever used. The other, of course, is our standard Pure Whey complex. This is 48 grams of lean protein. No carbs, there's no sugar in here. I think it might be like 2 carbohydrates. I absolutely love this stuff. Yeah, it's 2 grams of carbohydrates. Now, I like a protein powder that's low sodium, which this is. 48 grams of protein per serving times 4. So, you know, you're just under 200 calories right there. So it's really easy to hit your numbers when you use protein powders, because when you're dieting and you're running around and you're trying to live life, having a good protein powder essentially just helps you hit your numbers. Can you be a bodybuilder or athlete without protein powders or without supplements? You absolutely can, but you have to get everything else from food. I like to keep things as simple as possible, so having these two types of proteins in my arsenal is absolutely amazing, and I can't live without it. So that's just the basics of using protein supplementation. Like I said, you'll be able to read a lot more at TrueImageFitness.net, but these two right here, two of the best products I've ever used, and I especially love the fact that there's creatine in this one right here. You know, I typically have to supplement my creatine into this one or throughout the day. When I'm taking this one, it's all in one package. So I pretty much dig it. I think the biggest takeaway is understanding that for every 1 gram of fat that you consume, that's 10 calories. For every 1 gram of carbohydrate that you consume is 4 calories. For every 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. So fat being a very high caloric intake per gram versus protein and carbohydrates, you want to get as many of your calories from dietary fats and proteins as possible. You don't need that many carbohydrates a day, so you know, a few hundred calories from carbohydrates, and try to get those carbohydrates from as many vegetables as possible. Don't forget, vegetables have carbohydrates in them, so try to get them from there, because you're going to be increasing your fiber intake as well by doing so. And that's just the basics of it. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me through the page True Image Fitness on Facebook, or email me at vance@trueimagefitness.net, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. And if you have a really cool question, I'll put it in the next video. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Hang loose and stay fit, and I'll talk to you soon.